Hey guys, welcome back to Meghan Grace DIY. Today's tutorial is part of our Back to Basics series, which focuses on one specific technique that you might use in other projects. Today we're going to learn a slip stitch, which is used often in hemming because of its hidden nature. I often refer to a slip stitch as the tunnel and bite technique. That's because in order to complete a slip stitch, you must have a 1/2 inch pressed down first, and then the rest of your hem pressed up. So you're creating sort of a tunnel that you're going to slide your thread through. See right here where I'm pointing? That will be our tunnel. And the second fold or press line would be the edge of the hem. You start a slip stitch by taking a needle and doubling the thread. Make sure you tie a knot at the end of the thread so when you start to sew, it doesn't slip through. To start the slip stitch, I'm taking the needle and sliding it inside of the tunnel, pushing it through that top fold line, pulling the thread all the way through. Now we're going to take a bite. A bite means taking just 2 or 3 fibers from the front fabric, not the tunnel fabric, and then pulling your thread all the way through. I'm sewing my example in pink, so that way you can see how I've only picked up about 2 or 3 fibers from the black fabric. After taking the bite, you're going to go directly back down into the tunnel. You push your needle so it glides right along the top of the fold and then pops out again about 1/4 inch later. Pull your thread all the way through and you're ready to take another bite again. See here? I've taken just a few fibers from the black fabric. The ultimate goal of a slip stitch is to have as little thread showing as possible. If you were to sew this in the color of the fabric, which is what you'd normally do in a slip stitch, you would barely be able to see your stitches. But I'm sewing in pink, so that way you can see the example clearly. It's also important not to pull your thread too tightly, or else you'll get wrinkles and bubbles, and you want your hem to sit nice and flat. You continue this pattern of going through the tunnel and taking bites until your hem is completed. I'm going to turn the sample over so you can see what this would look like from the outside of the garment. See the little tiny specks of pink? That's where I took my bites. Now when I show you this stitch again in black, you're going to barely be able to see those. Now I'm going to show you the slip stitch again using black thread since I'm working with black fabric. I apologize if it's a little bit difficult to see, but that's kind of the point. If you use a color thread that matches your fabric, you should barely be able to see your slip stitch. Once you get the hang of the pattern, taking a bite, going through the tunnel, taking a bite, going through the tunnel, a slip stitch is a very, very easy way to do a blind hem or a hem that can't be seen from the outside of the garment. Hems like these are often associated with higher end garments like dress pants or evening gowns. Now that you've seen the pattern repeated a few times, let's take a look at the stitch with black thread from the inside of the garment. See? Barely noticeable. Compared to the pink, which we could see a couple little spots. Then if we flip over to the outside of the garment, again, you could barely see the little bites that we took with the black thread. The final touch to a perfect hem with a slip stitch is a nice, crisp press. And that's all there is to it. You can hem your dress pants without a sewing machine in no time. Thanks again for stopping by Meghan Grace DIY. I hope you found this tutorial very easy to follow and you'll check out all the other tutorials on my channel. If you like my content, please feel free to subscribe and hit the notify button. If you ever find yourself stuck with a certain technique, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And as always, happy sewing!